The real reason why Americans are moving to Europe, especially Italy right now. Hello and welcome to Our Retire Early Lifestyle. It's one of those things, it's human nature to want what we don't already have. People need to experience new things, and they also need to think they're helping their current situation in some way. And so for many of us, we think escaping the USA for another country is the answer to our problems. But we have to look at why we're leaving and how is my life going to be better. Remember, it's not about where, but how, and that's why we need to ask ourselves about the why and the how. We should ask ourselves, will leaving the USA and moving to Europe or Italy going to solve this problem that I have or that problem? Or will moving to Italy make me happier than I am now? Having already done it for 13 years in different parts of the globe, we can actually show you what it's really all about, and then you can decide if you still think leaving it all behind for another country is the answer you're looking for. By the way, no one on this channel is trying to keep you from moving anywhere your heart desires. We're just here to show you our lens that maybe you hadn't thought of. So before we begin, take the rose-colored glasses off and enjoy the reality show. Why do people even leave America for another country such as Italy? Our first reason is because going to Italy right now is a fad. Did you know going to Italy is all the rage at the moment? I mean, look at all the videos. All these people moving to Italy, living out the retirement dream, buying cheap houses and living off of the fat of the land makes everyone want to do it. The old world charm looks so beautiful. The scenery looks so wonderful and the food is delicious. In fact, everything about Italy looks and seems absolutely great. Ah, paradise. Most of the Italy vloggers seem to be having the time of their life, and maybe they are. Good for them. Some of them even say they're going to live in Italy forever. And so what happens? Well, our feelings have become so caught up in the fad of moving to Italy that we tell ourselves it's the change we need so we can make our lives safer, happier, and better. Whatever the reason, we're good at justifying why we should do something that would make our life that much better. The fad has now turned into a feeling we need to experience, meaning doing something about how we feel, and that's action, which, if you're still following me, is moving to Europe. And that brings me to the second reason why Americans are leaving the USA for Europe, and it's interconnected with number one and is based on our feelings. Let's face it, we're good at talking ourselves into moving to a European country when we see other people having so much fun eating out in restaurants, shopping Italian bargains, swimming and relaxing on the beautiful Mediterranean beaches, and buying cheap houses. We get a good vibe from watching these videos, and people seem to have no problems whatsoever, and that is all the enticement we need. But unfortunately, our feelings can often guide us inappropriately. If we allow our feelings to take over, we don't think about the big picture. And this is where the worn-out cliche comes in of wearing rose-colored glasses. The perception we get when we are wearing rose-colored glasses is based on our feelings, not on reality. I mean, come on, moving to Italy because it's a fad right now? Where were these other people when we told them 5 years ago that the primary reason to not, for an example, move to Portugal is because it was being heavily promoted? Well, you saw what happened. Just a handful of years later, these same people couldn't beat down the doors fast enough on the way out. It's the same story, just a different country. You don't think the authorities, in conjunction with the vested interests, saw what happened to Portugal and are trying to wash, rinse, repeat? Many thousands have experienced this before you. Do you really think this time is any different? Moving to Italy because we feel it is the right way to go, well, okay, if that's what you want to do. So the reasons why some people move abroad, and in this case to Italy, are not really substantial reasons in many cases. Like, my wife is Italian and we want to settle in her home country. Or maybe, like, my husband's company transferred him to Italy and so we're moving to Italy for his work. These are substantial reasons. But no, people are moving to Italy on a fad. For example, watching the videos of everyone else living a wonderful life where there are no negatives and everyone seems so happy seems like a no-brainer, right? I'm moving to Italy, says one videographer. Why I left USA for Italy, says another. Italy is so much better than Third World USA, says the YouTuber. I bought 3 cheap homes for the price of one in Italy, states a real estate flipper. Italy, the hidden paradise. I'm never leaving. Oh yeah? Watch this video clip. The reality is, the retire abroad media make the most sales when people feel down about their own country. When everything looks so glum and depressing and even scary in their own country, they give in to the Pied Pipers and move to a different country based on what they are seeing and feeling from videos of other YouTubers. Yep, that's right. But that's okay. We want you to move to Italy and enjoy yourself. We'll see you back here in 2 to 5 years. Everyone needs to experience the moving abroad thing for themselves. The third reason Americans are moving to Italy is for the cheap housing. Since about 2018, actually it was before that, but it's being heavily promoted now since about 2018, Italy has been heavily promoting their declining populated towns and offering people old abandoned houses for €1.
So word has it that you can buy a pile of century-old stones for $6,000 and then flip it to the next foreigner. Not the lot, just the stones.
So we have a lot to say about this. The reality is, most people going to Italy to get a cheap home don't realize that they are in villages that have a declining population and there's not much to do there, so it's not for everyone. I mean, if you like peace and quiet and the laid-back, slow-paced lifestyle, then it might work for you. But then there's the language issue. Not very many people speak English in Italy. Most of the young people have left for more metropolitan cities in Italy because that's where the jobs are and where the population is not declining as much. Bear in mind, the homes need tens of thousands of dollars worth of work because it's very old architecture and most need major repairs and restoration. I mean, we've seen some of these old forgotten homes. They have no heat, no AC, foundations and roofs may be crumbling, and they really need full restoration. Most of the €1 homes are not in livable condition. They have very outdated plumbing, if any at all, and just square, rustic holes in the cement for windows, and crumbling cement walls all over the place. Some of these homes are earthquake damaged and really need to be torn down. Most of them have no yard, not even a green space for your pet. They're what Americans would call townhomes in America. So we're just saying, be ready, it's not what you think. You will also be signing a contract with the Italian government of the town you move to, proving that you actually have the money for restoration and that you will restore the home within 3 years and live there. Italy doesn't want people to buy these Euro homes, restore them and flip them, or to Airbnb the homes out and cause price inflation and eventually gentrification like what happened in Portugal. The whole idea behind the €1 house scheme is to rebuild and restore the village homes and to renew the population. So again, we've talked about this before on this channel. The idea of cheap living spurs on people to make rash decisions to some of these touted cheap places abroad. They don't really consider the consequences of such a move until it's too late. Just the fact that Italy is giving away 250 to 1,000-year-old homes tells us there will be much to consider on the part of the buyer. Another terrible aspect about this program, which is just starting to happen more often right now, is of the inheritors of these dilapidated homes are now coming back to claim their house from overseas. Oh, what a mess. Although so far most American buyers say this hasn't happened to them, it can happen at any time, even after you spent tens of thousands of dollars to restore the home. A long-lost owner can come back and claim it with deed in hand. According to the article, more and more Italians are returning to Italy to retire in Italy to restore the home the grandmother willed to them years ago. But maybe they're going to find that their home is already restored. So what's happening now is some of the town governments where owners are coming back to claim their property, the Italians are now contacting the owners of these abandoned homes, giving them a few months to claim their property with proof of deed before selling them to the world. We hope it works out for people, but this isn't looking good for either side.
Things aren't all roses, but again, if you're just the right person for this, this might be something that you might want to do. But again, remember to consider 100% of the complete picture.
Other reasons why people are leaving America for Europe is because they think it will be easier to adjust to the culture of Europe than Latin American culture, and that it matches their standard of living better. And maybe it will, but there are many variables involved in that line of thinking. Some of those variables would be the language, cost of living, and which country you actually want to go to. For example, with the language, unless you're moving to the UK or Germany or Ireland, surprisingly, generally speaking, more people speak English in Latin America and Asian countries than in Europe. Another reason is some Americans are married to spouses of European descent, and so they can actually go there and get citizenship in Europe through their European spouse, and so they are going abroad to do just that and check it out on a discovery trip. It is the established folklore that in the EU, healthcare is free if you're a European citizen. This in itself is a big reason that some foreigners want to become a citizen if they have a spouse that has European heritage. Unfortunately, though, with a few exceptions, most of Europe will take close to half your income, and so will Italy. So much for the free healthcare. Yes, you can try to qualify for their newest so-called tax exemptions, which are only temporary, but you would have to move to some of these abandoned villages and restore a cheap home or buy a restored one from a flipper. But have you actually ever lived in a dying village surrounded by people that don't speak your language and see you as their ATM machine? Just ask those that are leaving Portugal as fast as they can about their experience. You don't have to believe us if you don't want to.
And understand that foreigners, they do get foreigner priced regardless of what anybody tells you. I speak Italian and I get it. I still get it all the time. But, I don't put up with it. Does it cause delays? Absolutely it causes delays. Because I'm committed to not being overcharged as a foreigner. It's just not something that I'm interested in. And I imagine that if you don't hold those views and are careless about these kinds of things, the so-called lower cost of living that they propose in the video is not going to stick around for you. It's not going to be something that's going to really materialize for you. Anyway, you know that if you were subscribed to our videos and have been watching our videos.
The long-term historical record shows that Italians have been leaving Italy on and off through the decades since the 1900s. The retirement crowd won't have the same challenges the younger crowds had, but they will have a whole host of new challenges that they may not be fully considering. We're just trying to help you see both sides. Let's make another thing clear. Some Americans are simply escaping America. They want to leave it all behind and start all over in a new country. We hope it works out for all those people who want to move abroad. We hope you find what you're searching for. However, the historical record does not look good for those that play follow the leader, i.e. social media hype of moving to the next best low-tax paradise place to live. So here's the recap of the real reasons why Americans are moving to Europe. Because it's a fad right now, just like the bell-bottoms that are coming back in style for a while. Feelings tell us life will be better if we move to another country, but this is not based on any reality. Cheap houses offered by the Italian government to bring people to their declining populated towns and villages and to restore these dilapidated homes. And some other top reasons are they think it will be easier to adjust to the culture and better standard of living than Latin America. Another reason is they may be married to a spouse of European descent and getting citizenship. And the other reason is they're escaping America for who knows what reasons. And as we like to say on this channel, no place is going to make us happier. Moving abroad does not make our problems go away, and no country is better or best or greatest, because that is an opinion based on one's circumstances and situation in life. Okay? So thanks for watching today and have a great day. Bye-bye.